Hello everybody, Brad Zook here. This video is primarily for people who know me outside of YouTube land, and maybe you stumbled across this channel or somebody else directed you to this channel. I want to make sure you understand what I'm doing here and you understand the purpose for my videos and this channel. Because every now and then I hear something about, well, Brad Zook hates Jehovah's Witnesses. Let me be very, very clear about something. I love Jehovah's Witnesses. You could hook me up to a lie detector test and I could say the words, I love Jehovah's Witnesses, and that needle would stay right still. Because I do love Jehovah's Witnesses. You know, I remember, this would have been like 5 years ago, but back when I didn't know anything at all about Jehovah's Witnesses. I knew nothing. And I remember somebody said, we were just talking, and somebody said something about Jehovah's Witnesses, and this person made a comment that wasn't too complimentary. It wasn't anything too bad, just wasn't too complimentary of Jehovah's Witnesses. And I thought, wow, you bigoted jerk? I thought he was a jerk. And that's just because I didn't understand where he was coming from. When I first started studying the Jehovah's Witnesses a few years ago, I would type in Jehovah's Witnesses in the YouTube or into Google, and I would read all the different articles and the websites. And this other word just kept popping up along with it. And it was the word watchtower. Every place this word watchtower kept popping up. I'm thinking, what on earth is a watchtower? So then I did Google search on just watchtower alone. And I figured out that watchtower, first of all, has two meanings. It's the name of the magazine that the Jehovah's Witnesses pass out when they come to your house. Or it's also the magazine that they study in their kingdom halls. But more importantly, the word watchtower refers to the Watchtower Society. The Watchtower Society is the organization that runs the Jehovah's Witness religion. It's the organization or the corporation, they actually call it a corporation, that runs the Jehovah's Witness religion. Now, if you're just a churchgoer and you've never had any experience with Jehovah's Witnesses, what I just said was probably completely confusing for you. An organization that runs a religion, it was very confusing for me too. So when I first started studying and I found out all these bad things about the Jehovah's Witness religion, at first I was angry with the Jehovah's Witnesses. And I thought, how dare these people do these things? But I realized that, and this is the most important thing, if you don't get anything else out of this video, understand this. We are talking about two different entities here. There's one entity which is the Jehovah's Witnesses, which to me that means the Jehovah's Witness people, the people who are Jehovah's Witnesses, and another separate entity is the Watchtower Society. And they're two different things. Do I hate the Jehovah's Witnesses? No, absolutely not. I love the Jehovah's Witnesses. Do I hate the Watchtower Society? You betcha. You betcha I do, because I've studied the Watchtower Society. I have spent hundreds of hours studying the Watchtower Society, and I know what it is. They are two separate entities. Once I realized that the Watchtower Society was the corporation that was victimizing the Jehovah's Witnesses, I didn't blame the Jehovah's Witnesses at all. And I realized that that was the actual situation that was going on here. And people don't understand that unless they've done some studying. You could also look at my channel and say, oh, but if you know I'm a religious person, oh, Brad doesn't like the Jehovah's Witnesses because they have a different religious belief than he does. He just doesn't like them because they have a different religious belief than he does. Well, from a purely secular, and the word secular means non-religious, from a purely secular standpoint, which is what I'm going to look at it in this video, I have a problem with the Watchtower Society, not just because of their religious beliefs. A channel called Peace and Truth just very recently made a video talking about what the problem is with the Watchtower Society based on the religious beliefs. And I'm going to put a link to that one. You can watch that if you're interested in that side of it. But from a purely non-religious point of view, the Watchtower Society has problems. Let me try to give you an analogy. Maybe some of the younger people have never even heard of this name before. But I'm going to really dumb down this story too. This was in the news. A man named Bernie Madoff started this business. It was an investment firm. And what he said was basically, okay, you give me your money and I'll invest it in the stock market because I'm really good at that. And I will give you a big return on your investment. So people came and gave him his money. He invested it in the stock market, but he also took a little off the top for himself. He invested the money in the stock market. Turns out he was awful at it, not good at it, and he lost all their money. But what he did was he produced a false financial statement for the people that gave him money. So if somebody gave him $10,000 for him to invest, he took a little off the top, he invested the rest of it in the stock market, lost it all, and then gave them a financial statement that said, now your $10,000 is now worth $12,000. And the people would give him even more money. And he had a lot of people that was giving him a lot of money, and the entire thing was a scam. The whole thing was a scam, and these people were being taken by this dishonest businessman named Bernie Madoff. Now just imagine for a second, what if you knew about this scam and 99% of the people in the world didn't know anything about it. You knew what the Bernie Madoff investment firm was all about, and no one else did, and you knew these people were being taken advantage of. What would you do? If you were a good moral person, what would you do? Wouldn't you want to warn people? Wouldn't you want to tell people, hey, don't invest your money in this organization, because you're going to lose it all? Wouldn't you want to go to the people that currently had their money invested in the organization and just say, look, I've learned some things about Bernie Madoff, and you need to get out. You need to get out of his organization while you still can. Well, of course you would do that. You do that because you're a nice person and because you don't want to see other people get taken. And if you have this knowledge that other people don't have because you've done the work to study the Bernie Madoff investment firm, then in reality you have an obligation to share that information with people so that no other people get involved in it, and so that the people who are currently involved in it can maybe have a chance to escape. So what's the purpose of my channel? Is it to hate Jehovah's Witnesses? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, if you look through all of my videos on my channel, don't just glance at the titles and say, oh, Mr. Zook Brad Zook hates Jehovah's Witnesses. You need to look at the content of all my videos, and every single one of them is focused on the Watchtower Society. Every one of them. The purpose of my channel is to expose the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society for what it is, because I've done the work. I understand what it is. I know what it is. And if you haven't done the work and you haven't done the study, then you really can't say one way or another what the Jehovah's Witnesses are or what the Watchtower Society is until you've done that work. So the purpose of my channel is to, just like I just said, to warn people so that more people don't get involved in it without knowing what they're doing, and to maybe shed some light and free some people who are currently in this organization. And now to my friends out there who are former Jehovah's Witnesses who may be watching this, I understand that I have a luxury that you don't, in that my life has not been personally affected by the Jehovah's Witness or by the Watchtower Society like yours has. I mean, I've suffered, some sadness at losing somebody who was close to me, but I don't have the suffering that many of you have, because many of you have lost your family. Your parents have disowned you. Your children won't speak to you anymore. Your brothers, your sisters, all your friends you once had now completely disown you simply because you decide you don't want to be a Jehovah's Witness anymore. Some of you have suffered physical abuse, spousal abuse. Some of you have suffered sexual abuse, all because of this Watchtower's policies. And so I do recognize that maybe some videos you could find out there from some former Jehovah's Witnesses, they may not say that they love the Jehovah's Witnesses, and I understand that I haven't been hurt directly by any Jehovah's Witnesses. So that's where I'm coming from. Please understand, and if you're some of the people that know me outside of YouTube, and you and I together could sit down and make a list of all those Jehovah's Witnesses that we know, every single name on that list, I love those people and I care about those people. That's why this channel exists.